Hey guys, what is up? This is Skipper, and today I'm going to tell you a story. Now, this story is definitely not, a very nice thing to do, but it sure as hell was fun. So I'll just jump right into it. So, about probably 2 years ago, right after school, summer starts and all that good stuff, I went on a trip with my mom, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, and my two cousins to Italy. And we went for about like 3 weeks, and so like for pretty much the first 3 days, we were all just jet lagged, and we were just kind of doing our own thing, just walking around and whatnot, and it was a lot of fun. And in Italy, there's a lot of cool stuff to see. There's shops, and there's it's just a really nice place. Like it's really amazing. Um, and so then our first day we were actually in France, and then the second day we like flew or drove to Italy or something like that. But so we're in Italy. I think we were in Florence when this happened. It was about the second week, so we weren't jet lagged. Everything was fun and good and all that good stuff. And like the way to describe these like towns and cities is like if you've ever read any Dungeons and Dragons books, the way they describe like the elven cities, that is how it looked. Like it was just amazing. But another thing in Italy and in France that you kind of have to watch out for is gypsies and pickpockets, and there's also beggars, like homeless people just on the side of the road or on the curb with their head like completely down, their hand up in the air, or they have like their hands on the ground, almost like they're playing or they're Islamic and they're praying, and they'll have like a cup in front of them or whatever they're doing. And so then like my older cousin, I'll call him Tyler, made this joke, and he's like, hey, what do you think they'd do if we jumped over them? Do you think they'd chase after us, or what? And I'm like, man, I don't know, that's pretty cool, like maybe we should try that. And my uncle was listening to us, and he's like, all right, well, whatever you do. And we're like, oh shit, we got caught. And he's like, just don't do it in front of your mom, okay? And he's telling this to Tyler. And he looks at me and he's like, and that means you too. I'm like, all right, we won't. And he's like, oh, I don't care if you do or not, just don't do it in front of your mom or your moms. And we're like, oh, okay, yeah. And so then like the next day, we had kind of thought about it, and we're like, okay, we'll do it the next day, like when we're well rested and all that good stuff. So we can just, like, if they chase us, we'll just run. And so the next day, my cousin Tyler, my other cousin, my younger cousin, who's Tyler's brother, I'll call him Mason. Tyler, Mason, and I, we were just kind of like walking around town, and we had crossed this bridge that was probably like a mile or two from our hotel, and we see like this homeless guy, and we're like, oh, we should do it. And so like Mason's like, no, let's not, like, I don't want to get caught, I don't want to get in trouble and all that good stuff, or not good stuff, but all that stuff. And Tyler and I are just like, no, let's do it. And so like we talked about it, and we're like, okay, when we jump and when we're coming up to the guy, and when we're over the guy, when we land, we have to stay silent, like just completely silent footfalls. And so we're like, okay, yeah. And so then, like, my cousin Tyler is, like, looking at the guy, and I'm, like, standing in the back recording where we were first talking, and he just, like, runs up, just, like, silent as can be, jumps, bursts out laughing midair while he's over the top of the guy, lands, just, like, smacking his feet on the pavement, and he just sprints down the sidewalk. And like the homeless guy just like turns his head over. I stop recording, and he was looking at my cousin who was on the other end of the guy, and we're on one end. My cousin was on the other because he jumped over the guy, and he's just like running down the sidewalk, and the homeless guy just like puts his head back down. And so my other cousin Mason is like, all right, you next. I'm like, oh come on, this guy's gonna know. He's like, no, it'll be good. And so I'm like, alright, fine. So I'm like, I'm a little ways away from the guy, And I just start running just as fast as I can. And I just leap through the air. As soon as I land, I like start snickering. And the homeless guy looks up again. And I like freaked the fuck out. And I just like started yelling. I was like, no! And I just started like running down the sidewalk after my cousin. My other cousin Mason, who's on the other side of the homeless guy, bursts out laughing and runs back to the hotel, just leaving us. And yeah, that's the story of the homeless hurdles and the gypsy jumps, as we called them after that. We did end up going to Venice and doing that like once or twice as well while we were there. And we did that in Rome too. But yeah, that's the story of that. Highly recommend not doing that. Like, it's just not funny to the people you're jumping over. It's fucking hilarious to you. Like, I guarantee it. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Yeah, bye.
You say you don't have wings. Well, I say you do, yeah. Run, I'm thinking about your love. Hey. Oh, yeah.